What are they going to do when Owen Farrell is available? What do you think they should do?
Well, I think it'll be interesting. At the moment, he's at the informed 10, so he needs to be starting in that position, depending where Manu is, whether he's back and in the fold, to then where there's a place for Owen to be able to come back into the team. But look, I think Owen is one of the ultimate professional players, and I would suggest that he has massively supported Marcus in terms of how he's going about his business, how we spoke about just a moment ago about the will to want to learn and continue to get better. That's all what Owen is. Owen never takes a seat back and think, oh, I'm in this position and I can just cruise here. So I think, he'll be learning still a lot from Owen. But yeah, it'd be interesting whether or not that 12 spot becomes Owen's when he's fit and back playing.
Well, in my view, Eddie Jones has to make a firm decision on this. And in my opinion, he should say, look, 10, unless someone's injured, 10 is being fought over by Smith and Ford, or anyone else he wants to do. But, Owen, you are in the centre mix. So the demarcation, because once you started down this road with Smith, I can't see the point in going backwards, but because we can all see the potential there. By the time it comes to 2023, I think you've only got about 20 games maybe left, and counting. So you want a fly half with a pivotal and seminal position in regards to decision making. You want your fly half to have somewhere around 30 odd caps, don't you? You need that sort of game experience, because every time you play, you learn. But in that position, it's even more important.
Yeah, it's vital, isn't it? Leading into that World Cup, you need to have a fly half that's well established within in the team, in himself, but also those around him. He's playing really, really well. How much he's leading by probably just example, has still got a long way to go yet. And having those games and having those, tight opportunities, and when things don't go your way, when they do go your way, all those learnings going into a World Cup is really, really important. And there's no point not allowing Smith to now grow over the next 2 years to really, make his mark in that shirt on the good side of things, but also when things aren't going great, how does he manage that and how does he work through that? But I think you're right, with Farrell, as and when he comes back in, Eddie Jones needs to be quite clear about the direction of those two. So they both also have clarity about what their roles are. So, it'd be an interesting one to see how it plays out.
Now, this is a guess because I can't remember exactly, but Nick Mullins on commentary did mention how many centre partnerships England have had since 2003. I think it was 154. No, it wasn't. But it was something unbelievable, like 60 odd. And that just shows Eddie Jones, this has been a problem before Eddie got here, and it's still a problem in the sense that no one knows where the things are. And everyone is aware of Manu Tuilagi. We understand that. But they've really, you cannot go into a World Cup without a tried and tested partnership. I know Eddie says it doesn't matter what number's on your back. It doesn't in certain respects. But if you're mounting a tournament challenge, you've got to have the basis and solidity to... Even the French have learned that now. The French... This is what the French used to do. They say it doesn't matter, he's a great footballer, he can play anywhere. And of course, some people, they'd have good games, and then it'd come apart when under pressure, because you revert to type and you do things that are unexpected, and people around you don't know what you're doing. So that, for me, he has to decide what type of player he wants at 12. And if Joe Marchant or Slade, who are very conventional, very good footballing centres, don't offer that, then get someone who does. But at least give them the game time so that everyone understands where we're going.
Yeah, I think I think you're right. There's been so many different combinations, and for me, the likes of Daly, Slade, and Marchant, they all offer very much the similar thing. And Manu, look, for me, has to be in that centre partnership. But then, what if Manu isn't there? You need to have that backup that is very similar to the way that Manu plays. And having played in Six Nations and World Cups, having that centre partnership where I used to work with Emily Scarrett on so many games, we had complete clarity about one another. It does make a big difference, not just to us, but also those around us as well. And I think, it's an area that you want to have your best players on, but you want to have your best players playing in their best position where they can give the best to the team. So it's another area that is still unsold for England.